Hello there, it's me, Sari. Today I'm here to show you that I've started working on the beautiful dies from Creative Expressions, as well as the beautiful trinkets, decorations, charms and whatever from the Trinket Parlour, a web shop on Facebook. And I started off by die cutting a background piece that it's called Scandinavian, and it's called background from the Creative Expressions. And what I've done is that I've taken a piece of white paper and I've just dragged a small distress ink on top of the paper. It's called, I think it was pumice stone, and I just dragged it lightly on the paper, and then I glued, put some glue. I actually used the Tombow Mono Multi liquid glue, and I put it on the back side of these fiddly bits, and I just pressed it onto the paper. And that's how you get a really easy going card base like that, if you want to. But you could of course go for this method as well. You could just take a regular piece of paper and just glue it down on that, trim it afterwards so you can get it to the size that you want. And this is what I've come up with so far. So instead of just leaving things plain white, beautiful for a wedding card for perhaps, I have gone in with some ink around the edges as well, and I've used the same color there, pumice stone. You can see it's getting a little bit more grungy and murky, and I might be able to succeed with the card better this way. So I have tried using different elements. I mean, I do like the stamps from Gorgeous Girls. I have tried with the Katharine Hepburn sort of bauble, and I had to actually chafe off some bits and parts inside the frame to be able to fit that in, but I did manage to fit it in. But I didn't really dare to press it too hard, because since this one is out of, I mean, could it be plastic or something, I'm afraid it will break. So you had better try to make it work, and now it's a really snug fit there, isn't it? So I was thinking that perhaps I could have it, yeah, I'm going to use that, so I'm going to go there later. So, and I did fiddle around with these bits and try to imagine having them on top, but I'm the kind of person that feels like it's going to be too busy. And I want to see this pattern. I don't want to hide it behind this and then perhaps have even something else on top. I find it most beautiful when I see other people do it, but I just can't do it. I'm sorry to say that. So instead I went for a star, and here you can see that I've done the same technique. I've just dragged a small distress ink pad, pumice stone, across this one. I just did have a sort of a working sheet underneath, so I didn't destroy, or yeah, I didn't just smudged up my working surface too much. And I was thinking that, well, this one could be a really nice distraction from that beautiful background pattern. And then I went for, I mean, that star actually comes from Dynamics. It's a die set from Dynamics, steel dies they are called, and it's called Stitched Star Stacks MFT774. And then I'm going to go for a shape from Spellbinders. Could this be labels 21 or 25, I believe, come to think of it. And I've done the same thing. I've just dragged some ink around the edges just to have a highlight and just to make it pop from all the whiteness underneath. So I'm just going to go for a rather clean and simple, although it's on a grungy side. So just bear in mind that I'm going to use this one as well, and I'm going to go for some bead letters, and they come with two different words on each side, and I was thinking that perhaps joy and fun could be used. And I could of course put some string through, you know what, come to think of it, that could be rather nice just to break things off. And since I haven't put this on a card, I could still get away with it. You know, that was a nice idea. So let's see, hang on there. I was thinking, you know, one shouldn't be afraid of using string. I mean, that could be a really nice idea actually. So let's see, this is going to be a sort of trial and error sort of video, but this is where I am at right now. Let's see if I'll end up here when I'm done and ready with all these things. And just to be on sort of the quick side to do things. I'm just going to put some adhesive like this. I do like to use a glue gun even though the strings might be a bit tricky and challenging at times. And now I'm just going to keep it sort of centered, just making sure that the points or the corners of the star die, I don't know what the pointy parts at least, that they are sort of approximately the same amount on either side. And then I'm just going to glue this one down, and I'm using this glue gun glue because I do want some height in between these die cuts. I don't like things when they are flat, too flat anyway, so I just want this to be just a little bit raised. It sort of keeps things interesting, and it's creating some shadow effects and everything. And of course it's going to be a little bit wobbly, but I'm thinking that's going to be alright anyway. So let's see if I can make it work with these bead dies. So perhaps I'm thinking that perhaps I ought to, since I'm going to keep it there somewhat, could actually let it go through. So I'm thinking that I might actually just pull, I'd rather pull extra on this side, so I have the possibility of actually making a nicer pattern like this. And if I'm going to put the other word, fun, through like that. And I'm just going to use my scissors, and I'm just going to cut it there, sort of. And I'm just going to tie a knot on the back side of this paper. Twist it like that, just to see where I'll end up. You know, I just like having string. I mean, it does look rather elegant and everything, but I still like to make things a little bit more rough than they usually were intended to be. And let's see if I'm going to feel the same afterwards. And I'm just going to put that one there, and all I have to think about really now is just to make sure that the, you know what, I just think I'll get that on that side of that part there. And all I have to think about it, I'm just going to first glue down the Katharine Hepburn in a cameo there, and I do have enough glue. Sometimes it's good to think about the fact that you have enough glue there so you won't get stuck in the middle of gluing something bigger. And I'm just going to press it there gently, and hoping it's going to be enough. Usually this kind of glue really sticks to the surface, and I do like the fact that it does. And what I have to do now is be a little bit fiddly. I need to get my cord in order, and I'm just going to put some glue underneath, and I'm just going to try to make it work without it getting all over the place. And it doesn't need much. I'm just going to put it there with a sort of light touch, if I'm able to do that today. And then you have to think about not gluing the wrong side of the word, or the wrong word, let's say, because you do want those words that you have chosen from the get-go now, don't you? So, just going to put it there. And the good thing about this kind of glue, I mean, it does dry or get, I mean, it's going to get hard or dry rather quickly. So it's an easy process doing things like that. So all I have to do now is to put this perhaps on a canvas, if I would feel like so. Or I could just put it on a card and send to somebody, or just keep it for future reference. You know what, I mean, I'm rather happy with this one. So this is my first attempt as a guest designer for the Trinket Parlour. I hope you like this, and perhaps even try using more string on your projects. I might do something else with this. If I do, I'll be making a continuous video of that. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off right now, and I hope to see you soon again. Bye bye.